This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(1:15 p.m.) This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa emphasized that the employees should be safeguarded but not removed while facing the challenges of the existing pandemic. Compulsory retirement age of medical officers in public service extended. An Army Major General arrested for obstructing duties of wildlife officers. Record high of over 170,000 COVID vaccinations rolled out yesterday. News from overseas. Chinese president warns China will not be oppressed in anniversary speech. Local news in detail. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has emphasized the need of safeguarding the employees instead of removing them while facing the challenges of the COVID pandemic. He made these remarks at a discussion held with the Sri Lanka Apparel Brand Association and the Sri Lanka Retail Traders Association at the Temple Trees yesterday on the problems faced by them. The Prime Minister also requested the industrialists and businessmen to make their dedication to increase the productivity without removing their workers. The age limit for compulsory retirement of medical officers of all grades in the public service has been extended via a Gazette Extraordinary published yesterday. The communique was issued by the Minister of Public Services, Provincial Councils and Local Government, Janaka Bandara Tennakon. As per the amendment made to the provisions of the Section 2 and 17 of the Minutes on Pension, the medical officers in the public service can now retire at the age of 63. The amendment will be effective from April 20th, 2021, the Gazette notification read further. Given the dearth of medical professionals as a percentage of the population, the Cabinet of Ministers in May 2020 gave the nod to amend the Minutes on Pension in order to extend their compulsory retirement by 1 year. Thereby, the age limit for compulsory retirement of medical officers in public service was extended to 61 years, which was previously at 60 years. A Major General of the Sri Lanka Army has been arrested this morning after he surrendered to the Habarana police station in connection with an incident of obstructing the duties of wildlife officers at the Minneria National Park. That was due to an incident that took place on the night of June 23rd when wildlife officers who were on duty inspected 2 army vehicles that had entered the park premises without permission. The senior officer of the army was reportedly involved in a heated altercation with a team of wildlife department officials in Habarana. Officers of the Wildlife Department and the relevant Army Major General have lodged complaints with the Habarana police regarding this incident. Sri Lanka ramped up the COVID-19 inoculation drive yesterday, recording the highest number of vaccinations rolled out in a single day. Accordingly, State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana said 170,995 coronavirus jabs in total have been administered. 91,759 people received the first shot of China-developed Sinopharm vaccine, the epidemiology unit of COVID-19 immunization progress report showed. Meanwhile, 79,236 were fully vaccinated when they were administered the second dose of Sinopharm jab yesterday. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Sri Lanka Insurance. Like a father, like a mother.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that special attention will be paid to upgrade the low-income families and Samurdhi recipients. He recalled the Samurdhi beneficiaries were benefited by the Mahinda Chintana policies. He said the government's responsibility is to enhance the income path of low-income families. He made these remarks participating at the Saubhagya production program held this morning. It was held at the Temple Trees today. Under this program, 500 villages will be built. According to the Epidemiology Unit of the Health Ministry, 1,864 new COVID-19 cases were reported as at yesterday. According to the Epidemiology Unit report yesterday, a total of 259,089 COVID-19 cases have been reported and 30,107 infected patients are being treated at hospitals, while 225,952 patients have fully recovered and been discharged from hospitals. The COVID death toll reported yesterday was 47. Chairman of the State Pharmaceutical Corporation, Specialist Dr. Prasanna Gunasena said that 51% of the people over the age of 30 years in the Colombo district have been vaccinated. That ends local news. Main news story follows.
The largest bonus declared in the history of the Sri Lankan insurance industry. Sri Lanka Insurance Grand Bonus, an unmatchable bonus of 8.6 billion rupees only for Sri Lanka Insurance life policy holders from the nation's largest insurer. Call 0112 357 357 for more details. Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Army Commander General Shavendra Silva says that several Grama Niladhari divisions of 3 districts have been isolated from this morning. Accordingly, 4 Grama Niladhari divisions in Jaffna, Kandy and Nuwara districts have been isolated. That was our main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
On to Watchlight. The Geological and Mines Bureau says it has taken steps to install 10 high-frequency seismometers surrounding the Victoria Reservoir. The move comes after stringent investigations regarding the minor tremors reported along the Victoria Dam and surrounding areas on several occasions since last year. That came to you in Watchlight. And on to a development of world news. The headlines. Chinese president warns China will not be oppressed in anniversary speech. Heat wave turns deadly in Italy. Nearly 200 unmarked graves found near Canada residential school. World news in detail. China does not oppress other countries, said its President Xi Jinping at a speech marking the 100th anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party. Mr. Xi also warned against bullies, saying they would have their heads bashed against the Great Wall of Steel, a statement seen as referencing the US. His comments sparked applause from 70,000-strong audience. They come as China faces criticism over its crackdown in Hong Kong and alleged human rights abuse in Xinjiang. Relations between US and China are also tense, especially over the issue of Taiwan. People in parts of Canada and the US are struggling through a heat wave. At least 233 people have died since Friday in the Canadian province of British Columbia. Police have been answering calls about sudden deaths. Most of those who have died have been elderly people. Weather experts have blamed what's known as a heat dome, high pressure that's trapping warm air. But they said temperatures in Western Canada are getting lower. An indigenous nation in Canada said it has found the remains of 182 people near the grounds of a former residential school in British Columbia. The Lower Kootenay Band said it is too early to say if the remains belong to former students of the school. But the discovery adds to a rising tally of such unmarked grave sites across the country. The grim finds have prompted national outrage and fueled calls by some to cancel the 1st July Canada Day holiday. Indigenous leaders have said they expect more graves will be found as investigations continue. Back to the headlines of the world news. Chinese president warns China will not be oppressed in anniversary speech. Heat wave turns deadly in Italy. Nearly 200 unmarked graves found near Canada residential school. That was world news, and on to development news. The Machinery Engineering Regiment of the Sri Lanka Army was able to repair and modernize 12 Land Rover motor vehicles. These vehicles can be reused. That came to you in development news, and on to sports news. The second ODI between the visiting Sri Lanka team and the England team will begin today at the Oval Playground in England. England team is leading the series 1-0. The match will begin at 5:30 p.m. local time. That was sports news.
Contributory deposit of ₹1,000 from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
National Savings Bank recently introduced NSB Pay app, and the launch was held with the initial session of the Minister of Youth and Sports and State Minister of Digital Technology and Enterprise Development, Namal Rajapaksa, at the NSB head office. That was Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of ₹1,000 from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Minister Ramesh Patirana says that the government has spent more than 10 million rupees for the development of infrastructure facilities needed for 4,200 families who are engaged in tea, coconut and cinnamon cultivation in the Galle district. That was economic news.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says the showery condition over the southwestern part of the island is expected to be slightly enhanced today. Showers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamuwa, northwestern and the southern provinces and in the Kandy and Nuwara district. Fairly heavy showers, about 75 millimeters, can be expected at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa and in southern provinces and in the Nuwara district. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the Uwa and in the eastern provinces and in the Mullatiu district in the evening or at night. That was the weather report.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasir, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
To end this news broadcast, back to the headlines. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa emphasised that the employees should be safeguarded but not removed while facing the challenges of the existing pandemic. Compulsory retirement age of medical officers in public service extended. An Army Major General arrested for obstructing duties of wildlife officers. Record high of over 170,000 COVID vaccinations rolled out yesterday. News from overseas, Chinese President warns China will not be oppressed in anniversary speech. With that, we end this news broadcast.